Welcome everyone, this is Pineleaf Needles and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Andang,
Hey, everybody.
Terry Adwin,
Hi, hi.
Maven, oh,
Maven's not
here.
here.
Not here.
Aerithert,
Hello, everybody.
and Carvet.
At your service and your families.
And please welcome our guest for this week, Gussie Moose.
Hey everybody, how are you?
Hey, great to have you.
I am hearing an echo.
Do you have the Mixler up?
No, I turned it off. All I have is the Skype up.
That's probably the same thing I was hearing earlier, but I'm not hearing it now, so it may or may not go away. But if Anding says he doesn't hear it, then everything's cool. Just kind of deal with it.
We'll just chalk it up to Skype.
Weird. Okay.
It's darn Skype. Confounded new technologies. Oh, someday.
Let us
That was my
begin.
week this week.
Oh my gosh.
Let us begin.
Punishment forces the segue.
Let's begin by asking Gussie Moose how you got into LOTRO, how you got into the Lord of the Rings, and how you got into the LOTRO community.
Well, I've said the story many times, but it's really funny how it happened. I actually was a player. I played another game a long time ago and gave it a rest, and my son was starting to pick up streaming, and I was watching him one night, and I thought, well, I'm gonna go check out and see what other games, are on. And Lord of the Rings was actually on it. It just had the little purple tag on it, but it was up there. And I thought, oh my gosh, I remember playing that like 4 years ago for a couple of weeks. I'm gonna go check it out. And I came on, and I believe it was Aerithart was on first. And I was watching him, and he was doing a chicken run thing. And I was like,
That's what I'm talking about.
God's
I love
name.
it says that chicken run
They
thing.
run chicken.
It was crazy. This is driving me crazy. I can hear everything like 3 times. So anyway, I was watching him, and everybody was having a really good time, and I was just kind of getting in and listening to the community and talking to people. And I think it was right before the weekend. Well, then that weekend I had some free time. It was Valentine's weekend, and I came back on, and um, Bloodborne was on. When Bloodborne was on, I was just like, okay, this guy is just like, he was talking about, trait points and the talent line and how to make the most of, all of your tactical mitts and your physical mitts and all this. I was just like, oh my God, this totally is just like the cat's meow. He totally knows everything about this game, I bet. So anyway, so I just kind of got hooked into it. It was a whole weekend thing. It was the community that pretty much hooked me in. It was just like there was so many nice people. I had such a good time. It was a really crazy year for me, and it just kind of clicked that the people were what I needed in my life. This community was what I needed in my life when I was kind of at a low point, and ever since then I've just been hooked. Picked the game up, resubscribed, got back on, and I made a new character, and I just started rolling with it, and that was my hunter. And now she's 105, and I haven't looked back. I've pretty much been playing LOTRO for, well, let's see, about 16 months straight now. And it's my main game. So I think I just really got hooked because the community was such a positive experience that weekend, and it just made me want to be a part of it. So I know it's kind of a long, drawn out explanation, but I just picked up streaming. I wanted to stream. I wanted to try it out and see what it was like, and just kind of rolled with it during the summer and just got more comfortable with it, over the past year, just kind of enjoying being with my friends and playing the game and meeting all the new people and just there's something about this community. Like I wish I would have been here like 4 years ago or something. Like I wish I would have really gotten to know everybody a long time ago before now, but it's okay. I can make up for lost time. But it's been a blessing. I mean, seriously, the community has just like been a huge blessing to me. That's the main thing. Just I love you all. That's it in a nutshell. I can't say it was like, oh, I just, grew up on it and I absolutely loved the lore. I mean, I do. I'm learning the lore and I love it and stuff, but I, I didn't get a chance. I read it once when I was in like seventh grade, and that was a long time ago. So I'm just kind of relearning it all myself right now on my own way and own time. So thanks to you guys, I have that.
Right. Now let's then head into the game news for this week. And this week we have the start of the Spring Festival for 2016. And it looks like we have some new cosmetics.
Yeah, we got Bingo's outfit, which was really cool.
Ooh.
Is that the pants and the top with the floppy
Yeah,
hat?
the pants and the yeah, that's Bingo's outfit.
Oh, okay. That's adorable. I love that.
It dyes really, really well. So of course, what I had to do was I had to take my burglar to Rivendell and dress her like a tourist, and then have her do the drunk emote until I snapped enough screenshots to get a decent, to get something I wanted to post. Because who else are you going to take touristing on the troll shows? You take the burglar.
Oh, makes
All right.
sense.
Get her drunk.
Is there anything else interesting at the festival this year?
Is a new steed, which I also have photos of. There are also new dyes. We still don't have recipes for the dyes, even though the community's been asking for dye recipes ever since Turbine first posted that they were introducing new dyes. The dyes that you can barter for spring leaves are the Shire Plum and Boror's Green. The dyes that are purchasable with Mithril coins are lavender and deep purple, and then next year they'll swap them around, and I'm really unhappy about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I really
didn't
want
realize that.
recipes.
Yeah,
'Cause I know exactly how much dye I'm going to want to use. It's going to be one more than I actually get. And I'm going to be stuck for at least a year, probably 2 years.
do you
Yeah.
think that there's any chance that they will change it up or give recipes out to us? I just don't understand it. I mean, as a
I'm
newer
still holding out
player,
hope
it doesn't
that
make
they
any
will.
sense to someone like me why they're doing it this way.
Yeah, I'm still holding out hope that they'll actually listen to the community's pleas for please recipes.
I would think that there would even be enough stuff available right now. I mean, it's not like you'd have to make like new flowers to grow or, things of that nature for the color, for the dye.
Yeah,
I mean,
new
you could
combinations
just
for
mix up
existing
some,
ingredients.
yeah, mix up some ingredients, make a new recipe out of it, and then bam, do it that way.
What, you want to mix Bulwar's brew with Rivendell Green to get Bulwar's Green?
No.
Buffalo's Brew is
Fancy
another one
green
of those
is good.
festival options. You have to toss in a little bit of red or something, some saffron. The tears of Hobbit children. I don't know.
Tears of the children. But instead, you have to, if you want those other two, lavender and deep purple, you're going to have to go to the store and get some mithril coins.
Mithril coins. Or hope they drop from a Hobbit present.
Yes. Now,
Since apparently everybody has really good luck with them dropping from Hobbit presents other than me.
Nope,
not
not
all
me
right.
either.
I didn't know that those do come in the Hobbit presents.
Oh yeah, you can get a 200 mithril coin pack from a Hobbit present if you're.
Well, that I know.
Yeah, I've gotten that before. It's like, woohoo, this is awesome.
I've gotten that. I have to say, I've actually gotten 200 mithril coins several times this past
Okay,
year.
you know what?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking
We
about.
we don't want to hear
Everybody's
it.
getting myth points but me.
Well, I think the amount
That's
of
what's not dropping in my
opportunity.
Hobbit present.
It's like, well, I don't know. I think the opportunity of getting mithril coins and whatnot and those things is proportional to the amount of times you log in and get your daily presents. And I was about to make that theory, but then I realized, well, no, Terry's in like multiple characters all day, every day. So
Hmm.
you'd think by odds by now she would have gotten one.
I just don't know enough rich hobbits.
Oh, I
Or
got
either
one
that,
once.
or maybe there's some kind of a RNG thing out there that's got the same kind of thing against Terry and mithril coins as it does Drac and skeleton horses.
No, I did get one once. I got one on Laurelin, which is, a server I don't actually play on.
Or it's on a server you don't play on. Just to make it feel better. The one I got the 200 mithril coins was on a server I almost never played on, and then it was like, oh,
And it has to be on an EU server too, if you play on a US server, so that you can't
no,
transfer.
it was actually Gladden. So not only are my
Well, see that you can
glorified-
transfer.
well,
Yeah,
that
you can transfer those over.
well, it's the Beard Kissers, so they've got mithril and money, so they're quite well. That's probably why they're wandering around Middle Earth helping random elves and hobbits and whatever.
Get some money and some mithril coins, and they think they're rich and start hobnobbing with elves.
They're pretty much independently wealthy, yeah.
All right. Now, did they decide then to put mithril coins on sale?
No, they're not on sale actually.
So what is on sale?
This week's
I
free
do.
sample is a sturdy steel key. Use coupon code 1KEY, one time per account. Also, 30% off monster classes and appearances, monster traits, monster skills, and the 100% infamy renown gain boost. Also, this week's weekend deal is steeds are on sale. I don't know what the percentage is.
I think
'Cause I
it's
didn't do that math.
25% off.
I
if
think,
I
yeah, I
remember
want to say it's
correctly.
25%.
That includes the account wides too. There's a bunch of steeds on sale. I was totally jazzed when I saw the Fleetfoot goat was on sale until I realized it wasn't account wide. He's the big fluffy white goat. But it's not account wide, so it's not nearly as cool.
Yeah. Let's now head into the site news and let's look at the community events for June 10th through June 16th. And anybody have here anything that jumped out at them?
Not
That would
this
be a
week.
no.
I
The
guess
article
everybody.
popped out at me when I clicked on it.
Well, there is
Not-
Story Night in the Shire, which takes place on yesterday.
You nailed it.
Yeah, see, most
Yesterday.
of the stuff happens on the weekend, where I either can't go or it's already over with by the time we're on the podcast. I do want to mention again that Weatherstock's coming.
Yes.
Next month.
Yes.
Yep,
So
it
excited.
is. I did see quite a
Get your-
few announcements for that.
Get your people ready now if you want the new spring cosmetics on Langeville and you don't already have a character over there. Make one. Now's the time.
Yeah, do it.
I just realized they'll be out of school, and this may actually be the first one that I'll be able to go to. I know I said that last year, but I wasn't able to go because of school or because of work at the time. But I may actually, for real, be able to go. Gasp.
Totally.
I went to my first weather top last year, and it was really fun, except for the lore masters that kept
Runekeeper.
I'm sorry,
Rune
rune
keepers,
keepers. It
yes.
was my bad. Rune keepers that kept doing their casts that kept freezing us up and disconnecting us and everything. And I was trying to stream it. Gracious.
Oh,
It's a
oh yeah.
mess.
Having streamed Weatherstock in the past, yes, I know the challenges of it.
Yeah, I'm debating on whether I should do it this year or not. I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of afraid to.
All right, so let's then head on to Coursera Online Games course. There's one beginning on June 13th, and what is this all about?
Well, Pineleaf, you can actually once again be taking a class that compares LOTRO with the films and other things and takes it all together on all these different types of media forms, and you're able to compare it in an actual class about Tolkien and be able to compare things. So pretty cool stuff. And it's actually aligned with Vanderbilt University, and so I didn't realize that until recently. So if you want to take this for credit, you can actually get credit at Vanderbilt. So that's super awesome.
So it's sort of like what Signum University is doing, but different.
It is, yep. Yeah, this is a class that happens every summer, essentially, whereas Signum is a year-round thing, but same type of thing. This is a little bit different because it is much more on the newer player side to LOTRO, but it still compares a lot of the ideas and things like that. So if you're interested, you can audit or take for credit.
Is that a free class, or is that something that
It's free to audit, and it's $49 if you want it for credit. It used to be free for credit, but
this is cool.
not anymore.
I'll be darned. I will have to check that out, because being one of those newer players, this would be something very interesting for me to check into. I mean, because basically before I started playing, that's all I really had to go on was the movies. And since I've met the community the past year, so much more of it's been opened up to me. I've learned so much more. Like, the movie doesn't even begin to scratch the surface of the true stories, for example. So that would be definitely a good thing for me to check into.
Awesome.
And the spirits of Gadarong require musicians for a book sharing event.
Which was also today.
Well, then I don't think too many people. Yeah, so unfortunately, I'm sure they were happy to have the ones who actually managed to make it to it. But unfortunately, if you're listening now, it's a bit late. And in fact, it finished just as we started our call here. Figures. So then let's head into LOTRO Academy After School episode 5. And this is the episode that was recorded when Brannick was having internet troubles, so he had to call in order on his telephone in order to talk with us on this one. But he was able to join in. We were able to record the episode, and so that all went well enough.
You should start a LOTRO Academy call-in game show type thing where you only get one phone call. Yeah.
Hey, everybody!
We already have a Stump Pineleaf segment.
Oh, that's true.
Stump Pineleaf.
If Pineleaf gets stumped, he can phone a friend.
All right. And then we have Tales of the Free Folk, episode 18. Fire!
Good heavens.
It's a hot episode.
There was a lot of fire in this episode.
There was a lot of fire.
There was a lot of fire, yes, and a lot of action and battles and stuff. So if you're interested in having a huge, ginormous battle session episode, then check out this episode.
Actually, for me, the best part of this episode happened after the episode was over with, when Carvet goes, "Do you not have any combat skills?" No, Carve, I don't have combat skills. I don't have weapons.
Well, see, that's player knowledge. That hasn't happened yet in character knowledge. Wait
Indeed.
till episode 19.
Yeah, the very first minute of episode 19.
Then let's head into, we had Small LOTRO Adventures, episode 56. And this is a title that no one would have guessed you'd ever see back about 6 months ago. Brave Bingo.
Yeah, I thought by now we'd have Drowning Bingo or something like that. Not Brave.
Yeah. Brave
Rotting
is certainly
corpse
not.
bingo. Abandoned by the side of the road bingo. Snoring while bingo drones on bingo. Using bingo's manuscript to start a fire bingo. I mean, there's a variety of different things that you can pick.
And the family line continues on its steam steaming quest for getting to low part 100 because it has hit part 95, the fracturing.
You need to slow down so I can catch up, man.
Starting to wonder if
Like,
Tim is
really?
got one chapter for every level, and he's shooting for 105. Because that would be really cool.
At this point, I'm almost convinced that Tim is actually a team of Tims, where there's just like all these people riding the family line, and then we just have no idea about this.
Oh, it's a family of Tims?
Maybe.
So it's like the Hardy Boys with Franklin W. Dixon. It was just like,
Almost. Yeah.
which I actually recently found out about and kind of blew my mind, by the way. Carry on.
All right. And we also have Letters to My Brother, part 1.
This is new.
Which is a new series, and I'm reading it from the beginning, so I won't have to sit every week and go, yeah, I haven't read it yet. Because I let Tim get way too far ahead, and now it's, I'm just going to binge when it all comes out together in a PDF. PDF, Tim.
Oh, this is cool. So is the concept?
This is actually, this was actually really great.
It's like a RP thing where an elf is writing to his brother and letting him know of his travels.
Yeah. And
That's
we
pretty
now
neat.
have another era on LOTRO players.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a Redthalion.
Arrows of the world unite, night.
And of course, we continue with the series on the Critter's Journey, part 27. Pawning Aldberg. Or is it Pawing Aldberg?
Paw. It's crew
It can go
related.
either way.
Could be both.
Yeah.
It's
Paw.
And therefore, let us head into our week in Lotro. And Andang, what were you up to?
Yes, well, Pineleaf, I can now say that I'm starting to catch up to you again in the epic story.
Starting to catch up?
After you blazing ahead of me with me not recording an episode since February, you're just moving so fast there, Pineleaf. I actually have finally finished Wildermore as far as the epic story goes, and really enjoyed it. It takes an immense amount of time to get through Wildermore, and I forgot just how long that is because there's all those Ranger session plays on top of the 15 chapters of the book. So it takes quite a bit of time, but very enjoyable. Really liked getting through there. And also, I found some hobbits. And I'm not going to spoil what this is related to, but I found some hobbits.
You found some So we had the Hobbit Lost and Found then.
You could say that, yes. So, Erithert, what did you do this last week in Lotro?
I actually did a lot because the school year just ended, so I was like, LOTRO binge! And except it sort of ended, and I was still I still had stuff to do, so I was still grading, but I didn't actually have to be standing and teaching stuff. It was just grading exams and paperwork stuff. So I did a lot of crafting because the glorious part about crafting is you can do half of it just not actually at your computer. So I took my Runekeeper Cook from Journeyman all the way up to Master Anorian Cook. I got my Minstrel from Eastemnet, beginning Eastemnet Tailor to Master Anorian Tailor. And I took my Guardian, which was already on the Anorian tier, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to finish off and max out 3 crafts in a week. So I did. So I now have a Master Anorian Cook, Tailor, and Metalsmith. So that was
craziness.
Oh, bravo to you.
that was a lot of crafting.
Wow.
Yeah.
It cost a lot of gold. But
You buy a lot of
The-
ingredients.
on my Guardian, I've actually been able to start doing the featured instance thing. And so I've been kind of casually gearing him up a little bit. If it happens, cool, I got an armor piece, but I'm not actively being oh, I'm going to run it 6 times until I get this thing. Because, So I'm only doing a tank build, though, for my Guardian, because with Guardian DPS as it is right now. It doesn't seem like there's much of a point in trying to do a DPS build for Guardian. What I have works well enough. So yeah, I've been doing that, and it's been a lot of fun to do it in that casual way, and it's actually been it's been refreshing and a lot of fun to do. So the whole partial evade thing, I think my partial evades now in tank stance are at or partial things. I think I'm at 30% partial block and 20 something percent parry and 29% evade. So I was like, yay! Nothing actually hits me. So it's a lot of fun actually gearing something up for the new avoidances. And then I got rich because partially my younger sister is a genius. Because she's level 37 and she discovered that the Bingo Boffin pets sell really, really well.
Nice.
So like you'll see like a tome of Willem's Cub for 200 gold in the auction house, and people do actually buy them. So yeah, I made a decent bit of gold doing that. And then from the generosity of people, there was somebody who sent me 1,000 gold in the mail as a thank you for what I've done for the Guardian community, and I was like, you are totally welcome. And another person sent me like 40 scrolls of empowerment, which was really cool. So that plus Big Ed Mustafa's actually, as we record the podcast, is doing something for the Hobbit and Honeymoon we talked about last week. He's doing like a 12-hour stream now to actually raise money for that, totally out of the own generosity of his heart. So this past week, besides spending money, maxing out crafting and doing stuff, I'm actually definitely experiencing a lot of the generosity of the LOTRO community too. So that's been my week in LOTRO. Carv, what'd you do?
Well, I skirmished irresponsibly. Twice.
That was me high-fiving the microphone.
Tuesday night, our usual group, we were under-leveled, undermanned, and we ran 4-man skirmishes several levels higher than us. 4-man being 6-man skirmishes with 4 people. It was a ton of fun, had a lot of great times. Ended up with a ranger death, which of course failed the skirmish, but that happens. Because, rangers. They should call them dead rangers walking. But when it comes right down to it, it was a lot of fun, and we still had a great time.
So basically, you know how in Star Trek they have the red shirts means you're going to die? In this game, if you're wearing a hood,
those ranger outfits, yeah, you'd think the green and browns would let them blend in, which is really effective when you're on a snowy covered mountain. Not saying it was Methydras or anything, but rangers don't carry snow gear apparently. Did a little elven matchmaking in the troll shaws with the beard kissers. That's a lot of fun. There's a quest chain in there that before the revamp had this elf running back and forth, running errands and sending little trinkets to his lady love, which apparently they've kind of wiped out with the revamp, but I still remembered it, so we role-played it that way. And I was like, this is going to be more fun.
That's hilarious. You were dwarves actually trying to give love advice to elves. That's awesome.
Hey, look,
Carv.
we're married. He's not. Something.
It was
all
pretty
right.
cool.
That's awesome.
Just saying. But on top of that, I was also able to take a new player, the aforementioned Das Geek, who I play with sometimes on Saturdays. I took him through skirmishes for the first time. We rolled around, had some good times. Did the first 2 skirmishes you get Tuck and Gondam in. Then I was like, all right, let's do something a little bit more difficult. So we decided to do a duo tier 3 Tuck. Both of us in level 15 gear, but we ran it at like level 23. Everything was fine until the boss fight. We got wrecked, which is what I expected to happen. But here's the crazy part. He dies, and so he just respawns, not knowing that he can't get back into the fight. He runs straight up from the intro to the side of the courtyard that you can see without going back over the hill and all the way around because he didn't know any better. He summons his skirmish soldier, which somehow lands in the courtyard, and then begins to fight. So I'm trying to kite. He's got his soldier. I've got my soldier. I die. His soldier continues the battle, and then his skirmish soldier dies, and then the boss climbs up and over the fence and goes after him. He manages to kill the boss after we had whittled him down, and then the skirmish ends in a victory.
Please tell me you recorded this.
It was on the stream this morning.
was on the stream.
I was
Oh my
like-
gosh.
I
Yay.
didn't get to see it, but I was talking like, why are you still in combat? You're just gonna die, man. I don't have time to retry this because I'm thinking it's over. I think that he was waiting by the gate and he ran in, but he's like, no, we're done. I'm like, what? And I run around and I'm like, you killed him. How'd that work? And then I didn't have the quest ring. It was telling me I still had to complete the thing, but he was like, no, this hobbit's got a quest ring. So he clicks on it and bam, I get credit for completing the instance. So I'm like, I'm cool. We'll game the system a little bit here. It made up for him getting a level 66 warg in the skirmish tutorial Defense of the Prancing Pony. I was like,
What?
yeah. He's
What?
like, oh yeah, there's a wolf behind that guy in the corner there. And I'm like, what? He's describing it to me. Apparently, the game glitched a little bit and it spawned a level 66 encounter ward behind Heathstraw back there in the pony. So every time his soldier would spawn, he would go right at it and immediately die. Then it would come after him, and then he would respond. He's like, "Look, I'm just not going to use my warrior right now. It'll be okay." It was just like, well, all right. But it was, yeah, we were not skirmishing responsibly at all. It was a lot of fun, but yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
Terry Edwin, how was your week?
Well, I have. This is gonna be a shock to nobody. I have a new character.
Oh my God, another
Another
character.
I know, right? I have a new
What?
burglar on Brandywine. Still
Four
three
score and
nimble toes.
7 Terry Edwins ago.
Does she even have any room left?
She
Yeah.
brought forth on this server.
Because I make
a
them
new
on different
character.
servers. I have 18 character slots, Gussie. So yeah, Stealth Arena Nimbletoes is a thing on Brandywine. Because I'm part of the 40 Thieves kinship that Olive, Enya, and
Oh,
Big Ed
that's
stuff have started
right.
this week.
That's right. The new kin
This last
has
week.
started. That's right.
We're up to, I don't know, 16 Hobbit burglars.
Was he like
Something
All Up
like that.
Baba and the 40 Thieves or something?
All up Baba.
Kinda-
and
Yeah. All about the 40
That's clever.
things.
And so Shired Eating has gotten her up to like level 15 or 16 already, which is pretty awesome. I actually finished out all of the Life of a Bounder deeds without really doing a whole lot of extra quests. I was kind of surprised how fast that went, because usually that feels like such a grind. And then on my stream on Sunday, Crick Hollow Terry has finally made it to Dol Amroth, and I found the best voice ever to talk in when reading Dippy Elf quest text. So yeah, that happened. Well, because there's that cave of the Avarim, and
Right.
you go talk to the elf chick, and she tells you all about how their job is that they're supposed to make sure that the town of Ethelond is safe for use by the elves, and obviously they're not really succeeding at that job. So I got to her, and I popped open the window, and I started reading her quest text like this. So that was fun. And then I led the Academy field trip last night through the first two Great Barrow instances, because we were celebrating a new kin member, finally reaching level 20. So it was yay! So we ran Great Barrow. And that was an interesting group. We had 3 minis and 2 burglars and a bear. There was a lot of dying.
I'll say that's
It's a really bizarre group. There was a lot of the other guys dying or you guys dying?
A lot of actually me getting squished, because I was the healing mini, and I level 23. I knew nothing about healing as a mini. So yeah, I went splat a whole lot. That's okay. It helped Sanswinda work on her red steed. So finally,
It's
what
always
have you been
fun.
up to this week?
Right. Well, first off, when I was playing my warden on Brandywine, I was contacted by someone to join their kin. No, I don't mean my kin on Brandywine, but my kin on Arkenstone.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm on Arkansas to do that for you.
Did-
Wait.
No, yeah,
Yes.
there's a lot of people that have been recruiting in Gladden World chat to move to Arkenstone. It's
Really?
like, what? Yeah, it's really bizarre. I'm like, no, I don't want to go there.
No, what was going on? No, what was going on here is this is someone who had sent a letter to the academy a couple weeks ago and who's been wanting to join the academy. But what happened is, whenever he was on, when he was on Arkansas, there was no one from the academy on, no one to contact or anything. So I happened to have been on Brandywine. Apparently, that's his main server. So he saw that I was on there. So he,
Oh, okay.
Oh.
That makes
That
more
makes
sense.
sense.
yeah,
Yeah, that totally makes
I know it
sense.
sounds stranger when when you tell it the order I am because at first I did a double take there and saying, wait a minute,
Huh? What?
what server am I on?
Where am I?
It's good to see somebody was so bound and determined.
Yeah, they were so bound and determined that during the kid they contacted someone while playing on a different server.
And just
Like, oh,
imagine them
I'm
creating characters on
stuck
all
here.
the servers just to track down Pineleaf.
And that could be creepy.
They're not gonna let anyone else invite him to Arkenstone, only Pineleaf.
Pine leaf, oh pine leaf, where can I find pine leaf? He's on Brandywine. Sorry.
Then on Arkenstone during the field trip, I was playing one of the burglars during that little barrows run that Terry was leading. So it was trying to remember how to play the burglar since I hadn't played the burglar in a while, and now playing it actually in a group, which is something that I had rarely done with the burglar. And speaking of burglars, I started a burglar on Brandywine,
Yay!
and I've gotten to about level 8, I believe. So I am in the Shire trying to decide, should I do crafting? Should I just drop crafting? Or should I just be a cook and make some
Don't do
food for
crafting.
myself? What?
Don't do crafting.
Don't do crafting?
That's a black hole you don't want to get yourself into.
Yeah,
You
you'll
could,
have to listen to like a certain Lotro Academy episode about it, and you don't want to get in that Pineleaf.
You actually really don't.
Yes. So I was basically that's where I broke off is where I'm making the decision on whether or not to bother with crafting and doing that for my burglars.
Yeah, 'cause once you
Barnabas
start,
asks, Barnabas
there's
in the
no-
chat asks, is the name Pine Thief?
No, actually the name is
That's such a good opportunity.
no, I don't know. I just didn't think that Pine Thief would work right. Let's see. Not now that of course you throw the question at me. I was like, okay, now what was that name again?
So your character name doesn't make Pinepedia,
Yeah,
but
Pine
all
Trick.
this other stuff does.
Oh, that's right. Pine Tricks.
Okay,
Tricks. Oh, that's
that makes
interesting.
sense. Yeah.
That works. That works.
Yeah, especially
Like,
for
we're all judging.
We approve reluctantly.
I don't know. Is that an appropriately pine leaf name? Like pine leaf can't make up his own names. We have to approve them for him.
Well,
We're good,
see,
we're good.
Pineleaf
Sorry.
creates enough characters that if we don't approve, he'll just make the next one be like the right name.
who has more characters, Pineleaf or Terry Adwin? Ooh,
I'd say Terry probably.
Yeah, I think me.
wow.
It's hilarious.
It's got to be close though, yeah.
Well,
As
Pine
far
Leaf
as-
has more of them at Cap, though.
Yeah, his cap character is definitely Pineleaf.
Oh.
Terry does because I don't know how many Terry has in total.
Trust me, Pineleaf, you're winning.
No, I meant in total.
Oh, characters in total, probably close to 70 still.
70.
Because I deleted a bunch of Terrys and then I went and made more alts.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I think that beats me. I think I'm only about 40 or something like that. So, Gussie, what have you been up to?
Oh my gosh. It's been a pretty busy week, actually. I didn't get to be on much Monday and Tuesday because our kids were moving into their apartment, but I have a weekly day where I do Slayer deeds. I've been going to each server and we've been running groups and we've been doing beginner Slayer deeds for raising turbine points and just general fellowship every week. And so I did mine on Wednesday, and that was on Crick Hollow. Yes, Crick Hollow. And we did really good. We did in about 2.5 hours. We did all the Slayer deeds for the Shire, all the Slayer deeds for Ered Llewellyn, and we even made it to Archet and got the spiders done. So they racked up. They could have racked up a total of about 205 turbine points. Mine was a little less because I had some done already, but yeah. So we did our weekly Slayer deed run. this week, and Laurelyn will be the next and the last one this coming next Tuesday. So you guys get out there and make your characters if you want to run with me on Tuesday. Laurelyn, we're going to start at the Archette starting area. So did that, and then I did my first round on my Hunter Nimwin of Spring Festival quests. And it was late at night. I was loopy.
Not
And
all
I-
of us are convinced substances of some sort were not
There
involved.
was no substances other than unsweet tea. But it was late. I was tired, but I was kind of loopy, and it was a goofy night. It was super fun.
I must say, it sounds like that was a Long Island unsweet
No,
tea,
it
maybe.
wasn't. But I attempted and finally figured my way through the maze. That was an ungodly mess. Picked up most of the quests. I refused to do the shrew stomping thing. I can't advocate the stomping of critters.
Oh,
Even if they are shrews, they have, they have little hearts and little feelings too.
Shrews have feelings too.
That's right.
Yeah.
Shrews have feelings
That
too.
should be a T-shirt. Oh man.
True
I did
lives matter.
I did manage to at least attempt most of the spring quests. The dancing did not go over well for me because I was trying to do it the old school way, and yeah, that didn't work too good the first couple times. But the third time, I finally figured out that the little green button, if you just push it, Gussie, it makes it all easier for you. And the horse racing, did both of the horse races, and we did the picking of the flowers, and
hold on. Are you saying that that now the correct green button pops up that you need to do for each of the steps of the dance?
Yep.
there's a little.
It's really easy.
Also, the Bree one is still bugged. If you actually push the buttons ahead of time, like before she starts talking,
Yeah.
you don't get that second. You don't get the second and third rest. You can just keep pushing the buttons and be done.
Yeah, you have to be careful though, because I did attempt it when I woke up this morning to go up there to the one at Bree, and for whatever reason, I don't know if the timer had a little lag on it or what, but it was at like 5 seconds left, and when I hit the button, the dance did not come up right away, and I lost. I failed it at the very, very end. So I don't know if there's just a little glitch to it or what, but I made it yesterday, but I failed it today. But they're very fun quests. They're a little tedious in my personal opinion, but they're very nice to do. I wish we'd get a little bit more green leaves for our efforts because I really need to buy all the things really fast. I need all those outfits. Oh my gosh, I need all the outfits, and I need all the mounts like yesterday because they're so pretty. And all the stuff for our homes. Oh my gosh, there are so many items for our personal homes and things, and I don't know where I'm going to have all the time to earn all these points for all the things that I want. So, yeah. It was really fun though. I'm just looking forward to trying to get as much of it done as I can. And I'm not stomping shrews. So, sorry.
I think the only reason I would do the shrew stomping, I know it's heresy. Becca doesn't understand it. But I'm not much of a festival person. I usually don't bother to do them unless I'm like doing them with her. But I would consider doing the festival ones just because you get the shrew tamer, like the taming of the shrew.
Oh,
It's Shakespeare.
okay.
Nice.
Like that's the only reason I would do it, but that's because I'm a total nerd.
I am
You know,
enjoying.
there's
What
a
is
fine
it that
line
gives you that
between nerd
title?
and scholar when you start talking like that, Earther.
I am actually considering that this is, well, I guess when I first started playing last year, I missed the Spring Festival for whatever reason. So my first introduction to the festivals in LOTRO was actually the summer ones, and did the fall and the winter and whatnot. So I'm enjoying the festivals. I just I kind of wish though that like some of the items were account wide instead of having to go on each of your characters for, 3, 4 hours a day to try and earn these things. That's why I have a little bit of difficulty. It's like, which character am I really going to focus on? Trying to
First world
get
problem.
these done.
Yeah.
So, but I am enjoying them, and they're really nice, and yeah,
They're a
I'm-
nice break. There are a nice break from like the
they are.
adventurer's life in LOTRO.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So that was what I did this week. So yeah.
Then let's head into news beyond Lotro, where our Middle Earth video highlight is they are taking the hobbits to Isengard. Gard, gard, gard.
Is this actually that one?
Yes.
This is actually that one.
Absurdly happy.
It was suggested by Aerithert Carve and like half of our audience. So thank you, all of you, for writing in and suggesting this. That's why it got featured.
Help take credit for it, but I had nothing to do
The
with it.
hobbits who Isengard. Guard.
There's
The
actually a
hobbits, the
video
hobbits, the
of
hobbits, the hobbits who Isengard.
there's
Yes.
a video of Orlando Bloom singing that song. I mean, obviously the
Right,
actual
yeah.
thing is a video of Orlando Bloom singing the song, but it's him singing along to the song, and it's
Yeah,
basically
the actor
it's
instead of
really
Legolas.
nice.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's one of those annoying songs that gets in your head, much like a certain other dwarven anthem.
I am
There shall
a
remain,
dwarf
there shall
and
remain a nameless or
That
I
pretty much
think
sums up the collective internet opinion of that, I think.
I
So.
think I actually found a 10-hour video of the taking the hobbits to Isengard, where it's literally like 10 hours straight. And
Yeah, there's
Yep.
a lot of those where it's 10 hours.
Yep.
and then a guy made a video
who
of
does
himself.
that?
I don't know if you guys have seen it. Some guy actually made a video of himself watching the 10-hour version.
Oh my god.
Because it was
Oh my
actually it was cooler than you'd think, because he was like he was in a really bad spot in his life or whatever. He's like, I need to do something, even if it's totally trivial and stupid. Like, I need to do something to prove to myself that I can do anything like that I put my mind to. So he sat down and he watched for 10 hours of that video. And
Wow.
he actually did it, and he was like, I can't believe I did that. But he's like, I actually feel really good about myself as a human being right now. And I was like, all right.
All right, it was therapy
was
for
cool.
him, apparently.
Yeah, it
Can't
was
even
cool. I'm like,
imagine
go
watching
for it.
that video. For
Let's
10 hours.
let's head into the moot of the week. And speaking of Legolas, what are the pros and cons of the race of elves?
They're elves.
Enough said.
All
Mic
right,
drop.
so let's
Wow.
begin.
Cons.
Let's
Elves.
yes, let's begin with the books on the pros and cons of the anyone have any pros for how the elves are represented in the books?
Well, in the books, they seem a lot happier.
In The Hobbit, they seem a lot
In The
happier.
Hobbit, they seem a lot happier. There's a lot of singing and dancing, a lot of joy, a lot of frivolity.
Yeah.
Somewhere
and-
between the first book and the second book, apparently people started dying, things got dire. It's not nearly the fun silliness you find in the elves.
Oh,
Apparently, they discovered that they were being, read by not as many children, and that made them sad. So they felt like they had to have, air quotes here, more adult themes. And so,
I thought you were going to say that the main pro of the elves in the books was that they were leaving.
that is a really good point, Brian. I'm kind of sad I didn't think of that. That is a good pro.
All right, so what are the cons for the elves in the books? Unless somebody
Well, I
has
mean,
a great
They're
pro.
elves.
If we're going to totally skip over the actual pros.
Okay.
I'm
I
I'm
think-
sensing quite a lot of animosity among the the team here about elves.
It's
I don't know that it's necessarily a pro, but you can definitely tell that Tolkien really likes them.
I think for Tolkien, having the books as a way of, it's hard to say it not sound like I'm a total nutcase, as a way of entering into the realm of fairy, that the elves are fairies, um, and not like not like Tinkerbell fairies, but like actual real fairies of like Faerie type of fairy, that were comparatively serious, but still were unbound
Well,
from
Well, and
like
I
yeah,
think
but these are
pedestrian cares.
Tolkien was also a medievalist, so he was
Yeah,
writing from a point
absolutely.
of view where like elves are basically like royalty essentially in Tolkien's mind to
And that's
other
how
mere
I
well.
always
mortals.
feel
His
about them too, is the
And
kind of that upper,
yeah,
like,
well, his
and in the
They're
time of a
wise.
medievalist, they would actually be respected in medieval times as royalty. At
Hmm.
least
they are definitely considered like the superior race, the eldest. Not necessarily superior, but at least they think they're superior.
well,
Um,
they,
sure.
Well, they
It's
definitely
true.
have
They
more
do.
age than anybody. If I
Yeah.
understand correctly, number one, they're around longer than anybody, and so they've got a lot more years of wisdom gathering and knowledge gathering and things of that nature.
it depends on the background you're going because the she in Irish lore are known for being very, very dangerous, let's say, to be around.
Oh yes, very
It's
dangerous.
like, for
Yes.
example, the thoughts of the description I always feel for the she, which are the Irish name for the elves, are pretty much the same as the Rohirrim believe the elves are.
Hmm.
Yep.
I guess that's probably the best way of
And
thinking
in a
on that.
way, I mean, in a way, they kind of actually are like that.
Yeah, they.
So there is that element. I mean, especially and it's
Oh,
talked about
especially
in the
the
book when
Hobbit. Yeah,
Gandalf talks to Gimli, and Gimli's talking about how it's dangerous, and um, guy with a beard, Gandalf says he's like, yes, they are dangerous, and so is Aragorn, and so is Legolas, and so are you in your own fashion. You are dangerous, and that concept of danger not necessarily being a bad thing is all throughout Tolkien's work, and actually C.S. Lewis's
yeah.
too.
No,
Um,
actually, the dangerous.
when they're talking about Aslan, he's not a safe lion. Like, well, he's not a tame lion. Of course, he's not a tame lion, and it becomes like a catchphrase in the last battle. But the idea of like, is it safe? Well, of course it's not safe, but that doesn't mean it's not good.
yeah.
Now, as for the dangerous, actually, that description was actually made by Celeborn of Fangorn Forest.
Yeah,
That
and
was the way he was thinking of the Ents or something like that, since it was an elf that was talking about the dangerous situation there.
And a point I think needs to be made is that the elves probably view everybody else as if they're like 5-year-olds. And so they're having to deal with all these 5-year-olds all around them, except in The Hobbit where they act like more like 5-year-olds than anybody else.
Themselves, yes.
But the rest of the time they just I just imagine them like being stuck in kindergarten with all these, kindergartners running around for their entire life whenever they look at mortals or anything like that.
Well, not just that. It's like buying a hamster.
Yeah.
Oh
Don't
Now,
man.
get
sure.
attached.
yeah.
Don't get
How
attached
did-
to the mortals. Yes.
Now,
Ow.
I should note that Tolkien's views on elves did change over time, since some of his early poetry, or even early versions of poems they revised later, his elves were actually Tinkerbell size.
Yep.
it's yeah, some of them. The elves
Yeah,
of
some of
Middle
them.
Earth.
Yeah,
They weren't the elves of Middle Earth
yeah, they were not
as
the
it
elves
came
of
to
Oh
be
Middle Earth. Yeah,
later.
man,
some
I
of
just had this thought of this pocket-sized Legolas.
All right, let's go into cons.
They're elves.
They're elves.
They're
You
elves.
guys are so horrible.
It's not that being an elf by its definition is a con, but they do have that whole duplicity of never ask an elf for an answer because they will tell you both yes and no, and it's that whole I know an answer and I will tell you, but I'll tell you both sides of the equation because you don't have the whole picture because you are a small speck of a hamster type lesser race than I am, and I know that, and I'm gonna let you know that I know that. So it's kind of like, okay,
I know
I
something
feel like
you don't know,
elves
and I'm not going to tell
sometimes
you.
elves sometimes, and this maybe I'm sure This comes more from a perspective from the books and movies than it does from the game and movie than it actually does from the books. Because in the books, it's a frustrating thing and an annoyance sometimes. And Legolas, really, you had to run past us on top of the snow. Thanks for that. But in I feel like that might come more from the movies and from the games. But it does. Elves do, like, if you were to completely generalize an entire race of beings, you would say that elves are, among all the races of Middle Earth, the most stuck up, full of themselves, and generally pain in the butt to be around people. Um, and again, that's an absolute total generalization.
Yeah.
And it's
But
one of those things where you go ahead, Eric. I'm not going
yeah, but yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's primarily because you get really sick and tired of Elrond freaking having you run his errands for him.
Do you
And I mean, it might be that. It might be that. I don't know.
do you all ever or do you think that maybe the elves like do you ever think that they ever think I regret that I'm an elf? Like,
No.
you have the race of men and like their time on the earth is limited. So you have the race of men and they're like, I gotta try and do as much as I can with the time that I've got. And then you've got the elves that are like, I'm gonna be here unless I'm either killed, in which I'll be released, or I'm just gonna be here forever like this with no going forward type of
Well,
thing.
Yeah,
And like,
but
do you ever wonder if like maybe the elves kind of think, God, I wish it could be a little bit different.
well, as Peter Jackson points out, all you have to do is give a pendant to a Gondorian king, and then you're good. You
well,
can
no,
die whenever you want to.
but the more yeah the more serious answer is the elves. It's not necessarily a stagnation in Middle Earth. Middle Earth actually isn't their home. And that's part of why elves actually aren't necessarily complacent as elves. And we're like derp de derp, I'm an elf forever. It's like they do actually have kind of a restlessness about them that
Yeah.
they're not made for this world any more than men are.
They're
Um,
tourists.
so and again, like that, I don't know that they were like, man, I wish I could die.
Well, I don't
But
mean
they
it
do,
like that. I just wonder
yeah,
like
they
if
they
they
do
ever
actually.
felt like, God, I wish I could just, I wonder
Sail
if
west?
Yes,
yeah,
well,
well, yeah, besides
exactly.
that, but like,
For them, that does manifest as the desire to leave Middle Earth
yeah.
and to go back to the Undying Lands. But also, they do call essentially death when men come along and they die. They're like, "What is this?" Because the elves hadn't seen it before, and they called it was it the gift of Eru? They call it a gift to men, and elves were like, "Wait."
How come
Or
we
the
didn't
men
get
were like, "Wait a
this?
second, what? Why is this a gift? We're dying." And the elves are like, "No, they called it the gift. The gift of men is that they can die. They don't know where they go." And Tolkien was always very careful as a devout Catholic. He was always very careful to make sure that his mythology didn't actually directly contradict anything in the Catholic faith. So the men still do have that aspect of the afterlife and going to heaven and things like that, where the elves don't.
Well, and one of my favorite
Interesting.
quotes from Tolkien is
Yeah.
when he was talking to a bishop or somebody like that, and he was saying, which of, all of God's punishments are actually gifts. And I thought that was pretty cool.
All right. Then let's head into the films. What are the pros for how the elves are represented in the films?
The
Mabel.
elves are not like the books.
The
Orlando Bloom.
elves in the film.
Orlando Bloom. Lee Pace.
I want to say like
Lee
the elves.
Pace.
The,
Yeah.
the elves in the films are like physics defying. They can bend the laws of physics and do things that you just shouldn't be able to do, like
Like face morph.
leaping from falling stone to falling stone up a bridge that's collapsing underneath you, and shield surfing down a staircase, shooting arrows at everything, and rarely
Hypothetically
missing.
speaking, of course.
And well, things like hopping from orc head and dwarf head to dwarf head while they're raging down a rushing river. Those are really cool action sequences that elves can apparently do.
Yes, apparently they. And well, yeah, but even Tolkien has a few rather strange abilities. Like I was once seeing a video concerning why Legolas's ability on how far he could see would be a physical impossibility.
Yep.
What
In
do I
our
wanna
world, at
see?
least.
In our world,
Everything.
yeah.
Um,
All right. Any
part-
more
yeah.
pros?
Yeah, Maybelline. But
Maybelline?
they have great hair.
Yeah, that's L'Oreal.
Well, that's 'cause they use
L'Oreal.
L'Oreal products.
Oh yeah, that's right, L'Oreal.
And then,
And
of
Forgot about
course,
that.
I
Lee
know,
Pace, so.
yeah, and I know Trish would say Lee pays his eyebrows.
Oh, absolutely. Anything. Lee Pace as an elf.
All right. What about cons?
They're
That's Star
elves.
Trek. Wrong universe.
Elves at Helm's Deep?
They never should have let Elrond keep Hugo Weaving's wrinkles.
Yes.
Well, that's a lot
And-
of post and a lot of makeup work, though. They kind of had to roll with it. I think it gives Elrond that wise quality. I mean,
Distinguished
because
vibe.
let's think about it. If you're a viewer and you're looking at his character Elrond, and mentally you're thinking this guy's supposed to be like thousands of years old, and he's like supposed to be the wise guy, not in the sense of hey, a wise guy. No, he's like a wise elder of the elves. In our brains, by human sociology, if you are not somebody who knows that elves are quote unquote ageless, you're going to expect some weightiness of age on his face. So the fact that they left Elrond with Hugo Weaving's natural features and not try to cake makeup on or CGI him or do whatever the heck they did to make Orlando Bloom not look like Legolas in the Hobbit movies, it really adds weight to the character, and it makes the story in the medium more acceptable to the average viewer who's not like a diehard LOTR fan going into it.
Well, and I actually thought of another pro on the films, speaking of Elrond, because in The Hobbit, yes, I'm about to give a Hobbit pro, we had Happy Elrond. Happy
That's true.
Elrond.
That's true.
I did not expect Jackson to actually go like the books and have, Elrond be all nice and happy and dandy, but he did, and that was kind of cool. We didn't get any tra-la-la-lolly, which is actually probably a good thing in the end, but
Yeah, I can see that.
If
But,
Tom
you know, I
Bombadil's
think
a
they
bad
did a good
idea,
job with
that's
that.
a bad idea.
Most likely, yeah. It would take a lot of work, a lot of composing in order to get that right.
All right. Let's head into the games. And anyone have any pros for how the elves are represented in the games?
I think Elven champions are really graceful. It's like a dance of blades. That is a pretty cool pro.
All right. Well, I would like to open the cons by reminding you of a phrase from one of the quests where one of the elves says, ask 3 elves the same question, you'll get 3 different answers. All different.
Mm-hmm.
I actually did think of a pro for the games.
Ooh,
They're better than the Rangers.
that's not saying much.
No, it's not.
That's actually not saying much because the only elf that you see doing active stuff is Legolas.
But that's still more than the Rangers.
No. You got the Horn, Nona, and what's his face, whose name was so great and did good stuff that I can't
Is it
remember.
Corden, yeah, he does quite a bit.
Cordan does. cool
Fordan,
stuff.
excuse me. Yeah, and that was a great storyline too, by the way.
And
Yeah.
honestly, like, yes, the Rangers as a whole are comparatively inept in the game just because they give you a lot of quests. But the times we see Rangers doing, basically, Goladir completely redeems every single Ranger.
Well, here's the thing, though. It's not just because they give you a lot of quests, because even in session plays, Rangers are not good, or skirmishes, or any type of instance. They're still really underpowered. So, I don't know if you can make that argument 100%.
Why do you think
I
that
think-
is in the game that there's like, knowing it as important as they are? Why do you think it is that they're so under? What's the word I
Are
want
we
to
rabbit
use?
trying to talk that Rangers are undervalued?
I guess is that the word I want to use? Undervalued or just
Underpowered? Well, I think
Yeah,
the Rangers and any of the NPCs, by virtue of the fact that this is a game where you are quote playing your hero,
mm,
they can't make the Rangers the heroes that they would be
it's true.
in the
Yeah.
way they actually would be Rangers, because you wouldn't be able to match a Ranger in combat until you were up in the upper tiers of how
But here's
this
the
game is
thing,
played.
I would be perfectly fine with that.
Well, then of course you've got the difficulty level. I mean, honestly, if you're going to be running a skirmish with a true ranger, you wouldn't have to worry about Candace dying when you're defending Amansul. You wouldn't worry so much about that one ranger whose name escapes me at the moment dying on the slides of Methydras.
But they could
'Cause
just
these
make
guys-
things more hard, more difficult.
Part of it, I think, is the fact that as they work, Rangers were NPCs, first off. NPCs are rarely, if ever, as powerful as our actual characters at the similar levels.
Yes.
With some exceptions. And then like the legendary whatever, like Aragorn's always ridiculously powerful. And things like that. But I think in terms of session play, they haven't really there's not really been a huge call for session play. I know in the Moors
Yeah.
you can play as a troll, you can play as a ranger. It's hilarious when someone comes out as a ranger because it's like, woo, they're gonna die. Like troll, sometimes if you get lucky, you can knock people off a keep and they die from the fall, or you knock them into one-shotters and it's hilarious. But like you can't really do a lot as the session plays in the Moors, and it's a session play character, and it's the same ranger that you'd play in the session plays as a ranger, and it's not really that exciting because of all the lists of things to balance. I'm pretty sure the session play rangers are kind of low on the list.
Yeah,
Oh.
well, I
would
mean,
hope
and I
for,
was
like-
thinking about this earlier today about things that I would change if LOTRO ever got a sequel, or if they just had, a ton of money to do. And session plays would be high on the list, and also just changing the strength of Rangers in general. And a lot of the reason why LOTRO was built the way it was, where there's these type of session plays that are underpowered and things like that, is because that's how most MMOs were at the time, where NPCs were nobodies. But now if you look at more modern MMOs, that's no longer the case. And so I kind of wish LOTRO would update itself and start making better NPCs that do more things more proactively, like other MMOs do now.
That's a good point. Like you said, I mean, the game's been around, what, 9 years now?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess, I mean, I don't see it as much being still relatively, obviously new to the game and stuff, but for those of you that have been around the game since day one and stuff, it probably seems to you all that a lot of stuff is, like you said, it's like it needs definite updates. They need to like move it forward a little bit to keep up with the pace of the player itself. And I never thought about it that way before.
Well, not just that, but also just to make LOTRO more interesting, I think, because
Yeah.
especially there's really only one session play where I feel like that things are properly balanced, and that's where you're that one dwarf in Moria and you're the champion, you do a ton of damage with
We
your
cannot get out.
cleaver,
Yeah,
and it's
that's a
super awesome.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
if all session plays were like that, then I think people would enjoy session plays a lot more. It's more, I think the biggest
but-
issue with session plays is actually the balance of the
yeah,
game.
but that used to be one of the worst session
It
plays.
used to be
That's
bugged.
true.
Yeah,
It definitely
it used to
broken,
be
yeah.
horrendous before
It
they
did.
tweaked it.
Yep, but now that they tweaked it, it's actually pretty nice.
But actually, back on topic, can I just mention as another con for elves in the game, the Sons of Elrond?
It's in Fort of Bruinen, yes.
Founding members of the
Yay,
SSE.
bonsai!
Suicidal Sons of Elrond.
Another con is that one Legolas instance. It's cool to be fighting with Legolas, but man, that instance is
Going
just...
up the hill to the tree
Oh,
on the top.
yeah.
I
And it's
love
so...
that one. But it does take
okay.
a long
It takes
Last time I-
forever.
Last
Yeah.
time I did that, Legolas got knocked into and got stuck on an invisible wall. He was like floating in midair, and it
That
caused
happened to
all
me
kinds
too,
of
and then you get to do it over again.
I
The
know, I was like,
long
really?
instance.
Legolas, next time you get stuck up there, ride a shield down.
I'm gonna throw a shield to him like a frisbee and be like, "Hey, dude." I am glad that they have fixed to a large degree It's not perfect, but it's better than it was. That elven swagger stance they used to have, especially the
Yeah.
elf
Yeah.
Yeah,
fellas,
yeah.
where it's like, doom, hey. They don't do that anymore, but it's better than it was.
Oh,
Yeah, that is one of the reasons I do not have an elf character. It's the only race I do not have. It's probably the only race I will never have. And part of it was because of that. I was like, dude, stand straight. Like you've had 3,000 years to perfect your posture. Work on this, man. But it was it was actually kind of frustrating because maybe I'm CDO or something. That's OCD put in alphabetical order the way it should be. Um, but maybe that's it. But I just could not deal with having like he looked like a cowboy trying to draw a
Well,
weapon
here's the thing,
at all
Arthur.
times, like with one hit back. Like
actually, you're not the first person that I've heard over my past year or whatever, where people have said, "I won't play a male elf because of
Yeah.
the way he
it
stands."
was probably
You
me.
know.
Well, here's the
Ironically.
thing, Arthur. They're just trying to blend in with the hamsters. So they gotta like match the posture of all the dying people with like the, lowering
All the
back and all
hamster
that stuff.
cowboys.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with it. Yeah.
In my
I
mind,
won't
all I'm
play a
hearing
female
now
elf,
is
elf either, because like the female like the female. Actually, I probably won't ever play a female character anyways. But if I did, it wouldn't be an elf because I couldn't stand the holy crap! You just broke your hip. Oh no, you're standing.
Oh my gosh.
he's
Any
talking about an elf cowboy, and in my brain, I'm going, I'm a Rovanian cowboy.
All right. Anyone have any closing things before we go?
Good
More
thing it's
cons
the
about
fourth
elves.
age.
The fact that you get out of Moria and those stupid elves send you back in there.
Yeah. That's a big one.
It's like they
Although-
can
That's
read
when
your
people
mind and
first start
tell
to
exactly
develop
where you
people.
don't want to go, and hey, let's send you right back there.
Although for really not liking the dwarves and really not liking the things they do down there, they sure do send a lot of spelunking teams into Moria. I tell you what.
Yeah, I'm just glad the elf thing is kind of over. We're in the fourth age now. We don't have to deal with them and their uppityness. We're good.
Wow.
And let's not forget that elf chick in the rift.
Oh yeah,
She's been there for a while. She's out of touch.
Out of touch. Oh, yes, yes. A few
I
weird
think
things
what
there.
is interesting about the elves is in some regions of the game they ridiculously overemphasize the elfin superiority complex. Regian, for example, there's some of those elven merchants that are like, pray. What is it? It's like, pray your matter is worthy of my time.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
like, jeez, okay, pal. You're the one running a shop in the middle of, well, frankly, nowhere. I'm bringing you goods to trade. It's not like the next adventure is just going to stop by.
And don't you have infinite time? Like, why?
I know. It's like I've
Oh
been
my
playing this
gosh.
game for like 4 years, and 3 of those years you've been in this stupid backwater hole of an outpost. So it's not like you're upwardly mobile.
to be honest, actually, I think the biggest surprise for me so far of this entire episode is the fact that when we did say stuff about Rangers, Gussie didn't just leap to their defense.
Well, I'm trying to learn, the sides of it. So it's like as much as I love my Great Company and my Rangers, I
Mhm.
also got to learn what what their backs, how come they're not more in front. And you brought up a good point, and I didn't think about it until tonight. We as the player are the main focus. Our characters the main focus of the game when we're playing. It's not about what what Legolas is doing or what Aerithart, like we run into them from time to time and we go help them do stuff and then it's like, okay guys, I'll see you guys later. I got to go do my own thing still. So I'll catch you guys in the next area or something. And I kind of have to remember that because, you know, I'm used to like them being the main, you're watching the movie and you're just watching them, you're watching their story and you're watching the story from their point of view and stuff, and then when you're actually playing the game, well, you're the main focus, and it's a little bit different, when you think about it. You're the one that's going off on this adventure, and what are we going to do to help Frodo get the ring where he needs to be? So it's a little bit different.
Yeah, my main thing is that, when you see a famous person, you get like all excited and
I
like,
do,
oh my
yeah.
goodness, it's a famous person. And you think that about pretty much all the characters except the Rangers after you meet them for the first time.
Not me. I love my Rangers and I love my great
Good heavens,
company.
yes. He does.
Yeah,
Oh,
my
they
main
have a
thing is
best
they
friend?
could
Let me
be.
go help them.
Yeah, it's they're the most. Hmm, I've been scarred. I'll leave it at that.
You've been scarred.
I think most people that have seen me stream have probably been scarred.
At least seeing you stream anything having to do with the Gray Company.
Oh,
I'm thoroughly like I want this to happen. I want to make a Gray Company like a GQ except GC magazine cover
a calendar.
and like a calendar with the
Yeah,
Gray Company in like their most rangery of poses. So for Gussie's personal enjoyment
absolutely. I
on
think we should make that
evenings.
happen.
Okay. So therefore, Gussie, does that mean that in your house you have that portrait of the Gray Company
I do, yes.
prominently displayed?
It's like, oh heck yeah, I do.
Absolutely do.
Them boys are up on my wall.
That's right up on top of my bed. Yep. It's right
Uh,
on the wall above the bed.
Why does that part not surprise me?
I also have yeah, my house is pretty interesting. I'll have to stream my house one day. I've got like a lot of the antler motif furniture um had been donated to me when I'd first started playing and made my house and stuff, and I've got like the big cooking pit right in the living room, the big fire pit and stuff. It's very, I don't know. It would be very welcoming for the Grey Company to come over and share some
That
bread
that or
and
they'd be a little
wine.
weirded out.
I'll say, where does
I've
the antler
collected your
motif stuff
posters and
come
signs
from?
with one young elf.
Now I'm curious, where does the antler motif
Flashbacks of
stuff come
Tiger
from?
Beat come bouncing in my head. Oh my gosh.
Well,
Yeah,
don't tell
yeah.
Gussie, but to get the antler motif stuff, you actually have to kill innocent forest critters.
No.
Oh man.
No, you don't. Stop.
all
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
'cause I
Gus.
was trying to put like a rustic wooden cabin log kind of uh, thing going on, but I couldn't find any like rustic furniture.
All right. Well, Gussie, do you have anything to say in closing before we end the show?
um, I want to thank you guys for inviting me today. It was an honor to be here with you guys. Um, I
Yeah.
as part of the community, um, I've been listening to you all for about 8 months now, and I've always held this show in very high regards. And I always learn every time I listen to the show. I always learn from you guys. So I'm very thankful that you guys asked me to be here today. I really enjoyed it. I know it's kind of derping out because it's just very overwhelming to be around you all. It was very enjoyable. I thank you very much for that, for having me here with you guys today.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
thanks for coming on. We really do appreciate it. You've become a huge member of the community very fast, and it's awesome. It's been very awesome to watch you grow and become, this great champion of the community. So, thank you for helping support Lotro and help it grow.
The community, like I was saying in the beginning, when I found Aerithart and Bloodborne, and just worked my way last year, I was kind of in a real not dark place, but I was just kind of in a real bummed out place when I started finding everybody and stuff, and the community is kind of what just kind of pulled me out and has kept me really happy. And I can't say enough about the community. I love everybody, and it's been a joy, and it's been such a treat to get to be around everybody, a few days a week and hang out and play Lotro together with everybody. And I just love everybody. I love this community, and I just can't see leaving it anytime soon for anything. So I thank everybody very much.
We currently have 25 supporters here on Patreon, and if you would like to join this illustrious raid of players and help support LOTRO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or even be a guest on an episode of LOTRO Players News. This week we did not have any emails, but if you'd like to send us one, you could send it to podcast@lotroplayers.com. You can also follow us at Twitter, the Players Alliance @Players Ally, Lotro Players @Lotro Players, Anding @PVMP_Anding, Aerithart @Aerithart, Carvet @CarvetLP, Maven @Tolkien Maven, Pineleaf @Pineleaf Needles, and Terry Adwin @Terry Adwin. You can also follow our guest at Gussie Moose @Gussie Moose. And Gussie Moose, where could they follow your stream?
Oh, it's at Twitch. How do you say it? Twitch/Gussie Moose 1?
Twitch.tv/Gussie Moose 1.
Thank you, hun. I got there for a second. I wasn't expecting that question.
Pineleaf went off script.
And
Well,
Pineleaf
it sounded
never
like a
goes.
script.
Pineleaf never goes off script, so you're really special, Gussie Moose.
I was going to ask Greenleaf too. When every week when I listen to him, at the end he always goes through everybody's how to get a hold of everybody. And I always think, does he take a breath in between? He pours this out every single week. I don't think I've ever heard him make a mistake on any of the emails. And does he ever take a breath?
Well, I'm sure Aerithart knows some of my early readings of his name.
And Brax Wolf.
Yeah. I think
The
it
fl-
was about 3 or 4 weeks before you finally got my name down right.
Yes.
Something like that. It's okay.
Right. The Players Alliance has 4 live shows every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News. On the last Friday of every month at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Academy After School. On every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Players News, and on every other Saturday after LOTRO Players News, we have Tales of the Free Folk. And you can join us for our live shows at lotroplayers.com/live. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.